$27 a day. That is all it takes to save $10,000 in a year. And if you can build some good routines for a couple of years, not only can you like have some money saved up and whatever, but you can actually totally change your life, leave your job. I was able to leave my day job at 24, and I did it by a very stupidly simple routine that I'm about to share with you. I was able to get to a 75% savings rate, and I've kept that most of my life. And that one number is literally the only reason I have freedom and been able to do everything that I've done. But here's the thing, most people get this wrong. In fact, 24% of Americans have $0 in emergency savings, and 37% can't even cover a $400 emergency. And the main reason is because of how they manage their money. So I'm gonna break this down to you, and after this video, you shouldn't have that problem again. You should be on the fast track to wealth, and their finances next year should be marketably different than they are this year if you follow this routine. Step one, before you even touch a dollar, we need to figure out one number, and then we need to set a goal. And that is your current savings rate. It's literally just how much you keep divided by how much you make. So let's say you take home $5,000 a month, you spend $4,000 a month, so you save $1,000 a month, you would have a 20% savings rate. That's it. That's the math. I'll leave some basic homework at the end of this, but if you don't know your savings rate right now, you won't be able to do any of the next steps. I think this is literally the most important number for most people. Your salary doesn't super matter, honestly. Where you live doesn't matter. You know, your budgeting, like almost nothing really matters. It's really not about how much you make. It's all about building margin. And that's going to determine how close you are to freedom, okay? So average American saves about 4% of their income, which is why literally everybody is broke. And so here's some basic numbers. If you have a 10% savings rate, which a lot of like financial people are going to be like, oh, you know, save 10 to 15% of your income for the next 30 years. And then when you're old and can barely walk, then you'll have some money saved up at like, obviously that's stupid because it would take 51 years to reach enough money that you could live off that indefinitely. If you save 25%, you're now at 32 years. If you save 50%, you would have enough money in 17 years to live off that indefinitely. And if you save 75% in 7 years, you could have enough money saved up or invested that you could never work again. Now, we don't even need to go that extreme. That's all based on something called the 4% rule, where you invest enough money, let's say $1 million, that you could withdraw $40,000 a year or 4% of that, and you would never have to work again. But since that's not the goal, this is kind of the system that I use to get there a lot quicker than these conventional methods with a lot less money because I never made a lot of money. I was cleaning office buildings and losing money being a real estate agent when I was able to leave my job. It wasn't because I was like earning a ton of money. It was because I had good systems in place and kind of did these steps that I'm about to talk about. I didn't grow up with money. I literally had very little money when I was able to reach freedom, under $100,000. But this system and stealing for myself and prioritizing freedom over buying stuff is really what got me freedom. A lot of people want to be a millionaire. When they think of success, they think of buying flashy stuff, of taking flashy vacations, having a nice watch, having cool designer clothes. I would rather have none of those things, but have location freedom, just be able to travel whenever I want. Just got to do it relatively cheaply, not have to go to work, wake up at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. If I didn't have kids, that would be a possibility, but I have 3 kids. Have my wife never have to work. Like those are things that are more desirable to me than just like buying a bunch of stuff. And they're also way cheaper. But I like to think of each dollar as kind of like a soldier that's going to go to work for me. And so if you're killing off your soldiers every month, then you're just never going to ever have freedom. And so you have to create some margin. So if you're at 4% or 0% right now that you're saving, ideally the floor that you would want to shoot for is like 35%, which would be awesome. I like to shoot for 50%. That realistically, I never ever want to drop below 50%, and I haven't for the past 10 years. So 50% is my personal baseline. It might take you literally years to get there, but that is a great target goal to shoot for. If you can get to a 50% savings rate, then a couple things could happen. Let's say you have 2 partners. One of the partners can quit their job and do whatever. Or if it's just you, you could go from working 40 hours a week to 20 hours a week. You could leave your job to, move to the business that only earns half as much, but has the potential to earn 10 times more. You have so many more possibilities when you have a higher savings rate. It literally just changes everything. Plus you're building up a lot faster. So I'll break down the steps of kind of how to get to that, but that's the target that we're shooting for, is a minimum 50% savings rate going forward. And when you have that, the amount of freedom you have is not comparable to almost anybody that you know. I'm telling you, it is so true. Savings rate's pretty much the only number that matters. All right, so you get your paycheck. The first milestone that we're going for, the first thing that we are doing with our money, is we are building a wall. Defend the wall. It was a battle-ready sword, fun fact. There's a distinct possibility that I had too much coffee. So the day your paycheck hits, we're not investing into crypto. We're not buying $300 worth of stocks. We are not doing any of that. We're not investing into our buddy's startup. We're taking money and hiding it from ourselves because we cannot be trusted. At least I cannot be. And so what I do personally is I have a separate high yield savings account at a different bank than I normally bank with so that I cannot see the money, I cannot touch the money, or if I do have to touch it, it's kind of annoying to get to. And that has been a huge key for me because ultimately when I see money, I'm much more likely to spend it. But if it's gone and it's somewhere else, I don't touch it as much. And so the first target is to save $10,000 in your emergency fund. And then after that, we're going to aim for 6 months worth of living expenses. But where you park your money here at the beginning matters a lot, especially over the course of your lifetime. This one tip could save you or make you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So like this is semi-important here. If you keep your money in like a regular checking account or regular savings account, you're probably going to earn like 0.1%. That's like what Chase gives you, like practically nothing. So like if you have $10,000 invested, you might earn like $1 or a couple dollars per year. Like it's just getting eaten by inflation. But if you have a high yield savings account, like right now, they're anywhere in the high 3s to low 4% that you can earn in your money. So like that $10,000 could earn you $410 or something like that per year. And so if you have the $10,000 emergency fund for 10 years, you're talking a $4,000 difference for literally doing nothing. And that's just on $10,000. You have a $50,000 emergency fund, you're talking serious money here. And so making sure that you park it in a place that's just good to earn money. I'll leave a link of some of the top ones right now. Some of them also offer you like bonuses. So you can earn like a couple $100 on some of them for opening up. So like just see which one fits best for you. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. Any of them can be better than not having it in high yield savings. But this step, just like taking a few minutes to set this up, can save you or make you a ton of money. And the goal of this is to not touch it ever, unless there's literally a catastrophic emergency. Ideally, this would be the beginning of the thing that will get you to freedom, which is that kind of like 6-month emergency fund. Because for everybody, bad stuff is going to happen. But this is the buffer that lets that not impact your life or lets you have chances and the opportunity to get lucky that nobody else has because you have financial stability and a fallback. Like for me, when I left my job, I had about a 6-month emergency fund. And so my income dropped a ton. I quit my full-time job and I was able to not make much money for multiple months as I was starting different things and I was working on my other scalable things until that kind of picked up. But if I was living paycheck to paycheck, I never would have been able to start investing. I never would have been able to, earn nothing for multiple months. Having a cushion is what gave me the opportunity to get lucky, be able to do YouTube and the other stuff that I've done. So it's a really important step. Quick pause here. This is another really cool tool. It is the sponsor of this video, Bilt. If you haven't heard of Bilt, it is a rewards program for your home that rewards you with points every time you pay rent or your mortgage, which is like bills. We all have this. And this is a way to earn points on that. Now, the part of Bilt that I want to show you today is something called Neighborhood Concierge. It's a free service that every Bilt member gets. And it doesn't just give you information, it actually executes things for you. You can tell the Neighborhood Concierge to pay your rent or your mortgage, book a dinner reservation at a neighborhood spot, schedule a lift, reserve a fitness class, book a flight or hotel, even like arrange your grocery delivery. And it's connected to over 45,000 partners across the country. So it actually knows your neighborhood and it actually gets sharper the more you use it. So with your rent or your mortgage, you can be earning points and then use those on flights or hotels, on Amazon, Lyft rides, fitness, like whatever, any of those, you can just use your points that you earn from just living your life, paying your rent or mortgage. If you want to learn more, you can click the QR code right here or check out the link down in the description so that they know I sent you. And thank you to Bilt for sponsoring this video. All right, so step 4 is to invest in assets that pay you. So you've got the 10,000 saved up. Ideally, you'd be at a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. 6 months would be ideal. And then after that, we are going to income producing assets. Now, this is where I feel like almost every other paycheck video is going to tell you max out your 401k, your Roth IRA and whatever. But my philosophy is a little bit different. Obviously, you literally do whatever you want to do. You can just burn all your money on a porch. I don't care. But if you're investing into retirement accounts, you're probably not going to be able to reach that money till you're 59 and a half or 65, whatever it is. And my goal was to have freedom at 24. So if all my money, I had stocked it away in retirement accounts, I would still have a job and that would suck. And so my goal is to have freedom in about 5 years. And so retirement accounts, while I still invest into them a little bit, it is literally the last thing that I do. It is very low on the totem pole. It is just with extra money that I'm okay with disappearing for the next 30 years. And it will be good later on, but I'm taking very drastic action right now to get freedom. And so that's not as high a priority for me. So it really depends on you, but I'm not really even going to touch on those. And so instead of all that, I'm going to try to invest in something that pays me monthly. So that's generally going to be a couple things. It's going to be a small business, which I think is probably the most realistic for most people. If you're that type of person, if you just want to work a job for the next 30 years, again, retirement accounts, probably the next thing you should invest into. But investing in some type of business, for me, I started going to YouTube seminars. I started to buy equipment for it and laptops and whatever. And most of that's not even all that expensive realistically. But like, even if you can just learn a skill to make more money and you can invest, let's say $5,000 and you can learn a skill and then you can get a job that pays you $10,000 more a year, even if you're still working, that's a way better ROI immediately than investing $5,000 in the stock market, and then you might earn $500 a year on that, as opposed to an extra $10,000 a year. For most people, learning a skill that will make them more money, whether that's your own business, whether that's freelance stuff, whether that's just learning skills to earn more money now, that's generally going to be a bigger impact for most people than retirement accounts, and it can pay you immediately. Other than that, you could also do something like house hacking. So I bought my first rental when I was 22, and so I pretty much filled up my high yield savings account until I had enough to buy a rental, lived in one unit, rented the other ones out, and rinsed and repeated that process a couple times. And that started to pay me monthly income. You could also invest in learning skills. So there's a lot of digital products, content, things like that, which I have also invested into. Like I invest into running multiple channels that pay me. Like I haven't posted on this channel in 7 months now, something stupid. And I still make multiple hundreds to thousands of dollars per month from that channel that I haven't posted on in 6 months, because that is something I invested into. It's like a digital asset. But ultimately, this is where it's kind of like a choose your own journey type deal. I think a lot of people want somebody to tell them what to do, but everybody's different. Everybody's goals are different. But this is where you really get freedom. So the choices are up to you after this. You're working towards a 50% savings rate. You have money saved up for your emergency fund. You get that fully funded. And then I'm generally investing into myself first, any way that I can, books, courses, seminars, maybe a laptop if I need that, anything like that that I can pay for that'll make me more money now, or have a chance to. That's going to be the next one. And then investing into a brokerage account like stocks has always been my last thing that I'm doing, just because the ROI on skills and like brain and being able to do something that I love and get paid a lot of money to do it, like working on that is generally going to be a much better ROI than like stocks. But there's like nothing wrong with stocks. Like those can be a good option for a lot of people who don't want to have that responsibility, that weight. But I've generally seen this correlation that the more risk you take on yourself, the more weight you take on, the higher reward. If you take the easy path, you invest 15% per month, you don't really sacrifice all that much, you don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, you'll have $1 million when you retire. Like that's totally fine. But I became a millionaire in my 20s by taking all the pressure on myself. And for me, that tends to be a much better route. And so let's go to the two levers now. When you're shooting for that 50% savings rate, there's going to be two things that you need to do. Lever number one is to earn more money, which we just talked about. And lever number two is to spend less. And the problem is most people pull lever number one, they start earning more money. You get a raise, you move jobs, you get a bonus, you do whatever. And then they immediately just like start spending more money. And so it doesn't actually help them in life. And so the goal is to keep your expenses the same or lower them as your income rises. And that's another way to create a savings rate, is to just lag behind. But I think lifestyle inflation is the main thing that keeps people from being able to get to anywhere near 50% savings rate. They just keep spending more. Once you figure out your savings rate, you want to make sure that you're automating. Let's say you're at 4% right now, which is everybody's average. And you're saying like, hey, I want to get to 10%. Figure out what 10% of your take home pay is. As soon as it comes in, automatically have it go to that high yield savings account. And then figure out what to do. If you won't have enough money at the end of the month, so you'll be forced to make some changes. That is what I like to do, is to literally steal for myself and then force myself to drive for Uber Eats. Like I need to figure out something because I don't have enough money to pay my bills. And if you're motivated at all to get freedom, you will figure it out. You'll spend less money or you'll make more money. And then you can just keep upping that amount and force yourself to figure it out. This is a way to make a decision once that'll force you to kind of follow through. And then once you filled up your savings, your emergency fund, maybe you take that direct deposit, you move it over to a brokerage account and you let that build up while you figure out what to invest into. But having it automatically steal from you before you even pay your bills forces you to make progress towards your goals. It forces you to buy yourself more freedom, and it forces you to be more creative and make your brain figure out this problem of I'm either spending too much or I don't have enough money, and you just force your brain to figure that out. I'm going to try to make a challenge where I help people get to a 50% savings rate like in person. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join my newsletter down below. I'll be announcing it on there when I'm done working on it. I think it'll be really cool. And if you are checking out high yield savings, there's a link to some down below. There's some of the top paying ones right now. Definitely check that out, and I'll see you next week.